what have you got to say to your victim?
Not a lot.
Aren't you sorry?
No, I never done it.
How could you lock someone up for 25 years? You're a monster. You're a monster, Amanda.
Say what you think.
So you're saying this whole jury's got it wrong? Amanda, what have you got to say to your victim?
Nothing.
You've got nothing to say to her. When are you going to take responsibility, Amanda?
Right then, ready, you lot?
Do you have any message you'd like to send
To who?
to the victim?
No. No regret.
Do you have any remorse for what you have done to that poor woman?
Oh, not.
You had no idea what
Done
she was
it.
going through. Coerced her, controlled her.
So, she had no idea what she was
She had no
going
dinner,
through.
she had no hair because you shaved it off.
That's rubbish.
You're not sorry for hitting her in the face with a broom and knocking her teeth
I never hit her in the face.
Well, the jury said
Why
you
would
did.
I be sorry for something that I still claim that I never done?
You could get locked up for 10 years for this, Amanda, and you still won't admit it.
I know that. Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think that I don't know that?
So we've obviously had an incident reported to us tonight, and I got sufficient information from that incident to arrest you on suspicion of neglect. It's midnight on the 16th of March 2021. You're under arrest on suspicion of neglect. You don't have to say anything. It may harm your defence if you don't mention when questioned, something which may later lie in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Necessity for your arrest is to protect a vulnerable person and to conduct a thorough investigation, and it being prompt and effective. Okay, have you got any questions at this time?
What? No.
Okay.
At the moment.
Absolutely filthy bedding. No telephone numbers hidden under the pillow.
We're running.
Alex, if I can just get your name and title, please, and how we spell it.
Yeah, so it's Alex Pockett, P-O-C-K-E-T-T, and I'm a detective sergeant.
Brilliant. Alex, first of all, can you start by telling us how Kay was treated? Give us a sense of over the 20 years, how she was treated.
Yeah, so the victim was treated horrendously over the 20 years that she was in the address. While she was there, she was assaulted numerous times. She had her head shaved, her hair forcibly cut. All she wanted to have was long hair, so she was constantly having her hair cut short while she's in the dress. She wasn't fed properly. She was eating probably or being fed one meal a day. There were numerous assaults throughout the course of the period of time that she was in the address. So she was pushed down the stairs, she was hit with a broom, she had washing up liquid put in her mouth, so she was treated really, really badly while she was in the address.
Give me a sense of the cruelty, just like some of the detail of the cruelty that went on.
So the victim lived in extremely poor conditions, and that was for the whole time, the whole 20 years while she was in the address. She hardly left the address while she was there, probably only left the address on a handful of occasions. And she was just used to do lots of menial tasks around the house, so she'd be constantly on her hands and knees, she'd be sweeping up, she would be cleaning the address, she'd be getting up early to ensure that the kids in the address, so Miss Wixon's children were got ready for school, and they were bathed, and she would do yeah, lots of menial tasks around the house.
I mean, we heard in court that she actually had calluses on her feet and ankles as a result of hours and hours and hours of scrubbing. I mean, just give me a sense of just how hard she had to work.
Yeah, so we believe she did a massive amount of work while she was there. She was constantly on hands and knees, constantly sweeping up with a dustpan and brush. She wasn't allowed to use a hoover, so she had to do all those tasks sort of by hand. So she was using a dustpan and brush for a considerable period of time.
Can you give me a sense about sort of the damage to her body, you know, as a result of the hard work?
Yeah, so when she was rescued from the address, she went and saw a doctor. So she was malnourished. She had scars on her lips, and she had calluses on her feet from the amount of time she spent on her hands and knees cleaning.
We've done a bit about the cleaning. Just tell me a bit about the cruelty in terms of like her not being able to wash. You know, just give me a sense again about not being able to wash, the cutting of the hair, just not being allowed out. You know, she didn't see another human being, did she?
Yeah, so she was treated extremely poorly. Like you say, she wasn't allowed to wash, or a very limited amount of time she was allowed to wash. She would often sneak into the bathroom in the evening to try and wash and try and clean herself. Yeah, she was treated extremely poorly while she was there.
And the living conditions she was in, like her bedding, you know, just how was that? Describe what that looked like when the police arrived.
Yeah, so when the police arrived, there's body-worn video footage that covers the address, and our scenes of crime have since been in there and taken photographs of the property. The whole property was in extremely poor conditions. Many of the walls had mould on them, didn't have any paint. They were just sort of back to the bare plaster, and the general state of the property was extremely poor.
But tell us about how she was kept. What was her condition?
So she was in a bedroom, and she was sharing a bedroom with one of Miss Wixon's other children. She had a small bed, and from the photos you can see it did look extremely dirty, and extremely poor conditions.
So is it just dirty? I mean, I haven't seen the picture, but is it dirt or does she have bedding? What?
Yeah, so there was bedding, but the whole property was extremely poor conditions. Her bedroom, the walls weren't painted. There was mould on the ceiling, mould on the walls. So yeah, generally extremely poor.
Tell me about her captivity. You know, her being allowed to go out, being locked in the house. Just give me a sense of how that worked.
Yeah, so the doors were locked in the property, and effectively the control that Mrs. Wixon had over the victim meant that she hardly left the property. Probably, like I say, on a handful of occasions she only left the property, and quite a lot of that was in the sort of the early stages when she was living at the address. And as time went on, she left the property less and less. And certainly not very often in the last few years, if not longer.